Let's move on to the current topics. Aim for Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate. It is a joint initiative by UN, US and UAE to promote the climate smart agriculture and also food system innovations globally. This mission aims to address the climate change impacts on agriculture while ensuring the global food security. Here, this initiative addressing the two things. One is climate change impact on agriculture and second one is global food security. Funding mobilized. It attracted $10 billion from governments and also $3 billion from the private and other sources. No need to remember these numbers. Next, the core objectives of this initiative is fostering innovation in climate smart agricultural practices, develop sustainable food systems, and also increasing the agricultural productivity. These objectives align with the Paris Agreement goals and also contributes to Sustainable Development Goals 2 and also 13, which focuses on zero hunger and also climate action. Here it focuses on the development of climate resilient crops, means the crops which are not affected by the climate change, reduction of agricultural greenhouse gas emissions, reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, advancement in agri-tech and also food innovations. This encourages the sustainable farming practices and also global partnerships for tackling the agricultural related climate challenges. What is its impact on India? It opens avenues for Indian agricultural innovation and collaboration in climate smart agriculture and boosts financial and technological resources for food system reforms. Let's see some questions. First question, with reference to global initiatives promoting sustainable agriculture, consider the following statements. First statement, the Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate is jointly led by UN, US and UAE. Yes, first statement is correct. Aim for climate focus on innovations in climate smart agriculture and food systems. Yes, second statement is also correct. Next, India is a founding member of AIM for Climate. Here we already saw it is led by UN, US and UAE. India is not a founding member, so option 3 is incorrect. 1 and 2 only. Option A is the right answer. Next, which of the following practices aligns with the principles of climate smart agriculture? First one, use of drought resistant crop varieties. Yes, here in climate smart agriculture, we are developing the climate resilient crops. So statement 1 is correct. Adoption of agroforestry systems. Yes, this is also correct. Next, reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from agricultural practices. Yes, all 3 are correct. Option D is the right answer. Consider the following statements regarding global financial commitments to climate smart agriculture. First statement, Aim for Climate has mobilized over $10 billion in funding from governments globally. Yes, private funding sources have contributed significantly to climate smart agricultural innovations, which contributions of over $3 billion. Yes, this is also correct. The Green Climate Fund exclusively funds agricultural projects under CSA. This Green Climate Fund is established under United Framework Convention on Climate Change. This Green Climate Fund is an initiative established under the United Nations Framework Convention on the Climate Change. So it is not under the CSA. Statement 3 is incorrect. Option A, 1 and 2 only is the right answer. Which of the following are major contributors to agricultural greenhouse gas emissions globally? Methane emissions from flooded paddy fields. Yes, methane is released from the paddy fields. So statement 1 is correct. Nitrous oxide emissions from excessive use of fertilizers. Yes, statement 2 is also correct. Carbon dioxide emissions from deforestation for agriculture. Statement 3 is also correct. All 3 are correct. Option D is the right answer. Which of the following sustainable development goals, SDGs, are directly addressed by climate smart agriculture? First, it focuses on the global food security. So SDG 2 is addressed zero hunger, clean water and sanitation. It also addresses this. So statement 2 is right. SDG 13, climate action. SDG 13, climate action. Yes, CSA focuses on the mitigating the climate change. So statement 3 is also correct. SDG 15, life on land, it also addresses this. So all 4 are correct. Option D is the right answer. Next is climate finance. Here climate finance is nothing but the funds provided for the projects that help to mitigate the climate change, that help to mitigate the or to adopt the climate change. Despite underfunding, growing recognition of the need for increased climate finance to support agricultural adaptation and also also mitigation, especially in developing countries. Only 4% of global climate finance is allocated to food and agriculture related projects despite its critical. Here it is saying that the underfunding gap in agricultural adaptation and mitigation effects, especially in developing nations. Despite its importance, developing nations are receiving only 4% of global climate finance, which is highlighting the underfunding for mitigation efforts. Next, need for investments. Growing recognition of the need for greater investment in agricultural climate adaptation and mitigation. The investments should be increased such that it ensures the food security and also resilience against the climate impacts in vulnerable regions, especially in developing nations. Focus on developing countries. The developing nations face severe impacts of climate change, requiring adequate financial support for sustainable agriculture. Definitely, developing nations require more investments to support them moving towards the sustainable agricultural practices. This strengthens the global climate equity by addressing the disproportionate vulnerability of the poor nations. Barriers to the climate finance. Lack of priority for agriculture in global climate funding and also inadequate mechanisms for channeling the funds to smallholder farmers. The major challenge is not prioritizing agriculture in global climate funding, and also the funds need to be reached to small landholders. So it requires policy reforms to direct resources effectively and also resilient agricultural systems. Global impact. Limited finance leads to slower adoption of climate smart agriculture and sustainable practices. It affects the global food supply chains and increases the risks of hunger and poverty in climate vulnerable regions. If we summarize this, as agriculture is impacted by the climate change, still it is getting 4% of global climate finance, which is underfunding, and definitely the fund should be increased. If not, it affects the global food supply chains and also it increases the risks of hunger and also poverty in climate vulnerable regions. Let's do some questions. With reference to climate finance, consider the following statements. Only 4% of global climate finance has been directed to food and agricultural related projects. Yes, statement 1 is correct. We can eliminate option C. Developing countries receive the majority of global climate finance for agricultural adoption. In the first statement, we are saying only 4% is receiving. These two are contradictory statements. So, statement 2 is incorrect. We can eliminate option A and D. Option B is the right answer. Let's see this third statement also. Climate finance is critical for scaling climate smart agricultural practices. Yes, we need finance for climate smart agricultural practices. So, statement 3 is also correct. Option B is the right answer. Which of the following practices are part of climate smart agriculture? Agroforestry. Yes, it is also part of CSA. Means climate smart agriculture. Drip irrigation, yes. Integrated pest management, yes. Monocropping, no. Monocropping leads to the soil degradation. It doesn't come under the climate smart agriculture. 1, 2, 3. Option A is the right answer. Consider the following initiatives: Green Climate Fund, Adaptation Fund, Climate Investment Funds. Each of the above initiatives focus on providing climate finance for agricultural adaptation and mitigation in developing countries. Here, Green Climate Fund is under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This also addresses the climate change. So this is correct. Adaptation Fund, it is established to support the developing countries in adapting the adverse effects of climate change. It is also under UNFCCC. So it is also correct. Next, Climate Investment Fund. It also provides the financial support for developing countries in transition to low carbon and climate resilient development. This is also correct. All three are correct. Option D is the right answer. What are the potential impacts of inadequate climate finance for agriculture? Slower adoption of climate resilient farming practices. So it slows down these farming practices. Statement 1 is correct. Increased vulnerability, food insecurity. Yes, it may increases the food insecurity, and also improve soil health due to lower resource exploitation. It does not improve the soil health. Instead, it deteriorates the soil health more. So statement 3 is incorrect. 1 and 2, option A is the right answer. Which of the following are barriers to effective utilization of climate finance in agriculture? Here he is asking about the challenges. Lack of priority for agriculture in global climate funding mechanisms. Yes. Inadequate infrastructure to channel funds to smallholder farmers. Yes. Over reliance on industrialized nations for funding allocations. Yes. We are more dependent on developed nations for funding. So statement 3 is also correct. All three are correct. Option D is the right answer. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.